Hello everyone, I hope you're all well. So what I thought I'd do today is I've been going through all my fabrics and things, and there's two things I want to do. Well, there's three things really, but in the past I've made things like, let me just grab something and I'll show you. Let me just see. Oops. It's usually there to hand. Yeah, I mean, I've made things like that, snippet roll, and that one. So I've made quite colourful snippet rolls in the past. But what I thought I'd do this time is make a neutral one. So, yeah, and also a lace one. So that's the plan. So I've been just gathering some little snippets of lace here. I don't know how much I'll have, but hopefully there's enough, and I can always cut more off the laces I have. And then so I'll just show you this again. So this is quite a wide snippet roll, and I've been cutting pieces off and using them as the end of page tabs. I've used them as the toppers for the tags, all sorts of different things to edge the side of a page, loads of different things. So they really do come in handy for journaling and things like that. So let's do the neutral one first. I'll just put the lace over here, and then I can maybe have a go at that afterwards. So I need a piece of fabric that just is a nice length. That will do, because what I can do is I can add to it if I'm, if I want to make more. So I'll make it, I won't make it too wide. You can always make wider ones afterwards, but this is just to start us off. So that's going to be my length for now. As I said, I mean, I can always do two lengths and add them together, or you can do all sorts of different things. You can make them into little snippets like this, or clusters. So you can make them and then chop them up, whatever you want to do. You can make them into, I have a lovely meditation scroll that I use. I've got this that I was thinking about working on. I've actually cut some fabric to size to do it, this one here. So I cut this the other day and I thought, well, I'll make something pretty to go on there. So that might be a lace one that I do. But yeah, so things like that, bobbins and that sort of thing. I'll just leave that on there actually for now. Okay, so anyway, let's make a start. So I'm going to, as I said, it's going to be neutral. What I normally do is so I'm just going to cut some small pieces. So what I normally do is I glue, to put a tiny dot of glue on to hold them in place. Well, it's nice to have the edges a bit raggy, so you could pull them out like this. Thank you for your comments, by the way. I'm just wondering, actually. Yeah, I'll just leave that there for a minute. I won't just have a look on this side. I don't want to use that. That's a lovely piece of eco dyed cloth. Very pretty. Did that last year. Oh, it's got. I've drawn a bunny rabbit on it. I was going to make a rabbit or something, or a hare. I can see it. I don't know if you can see it. That's interesting. I wonder why I didn't go ahead with that. Anyway, very nice. So cut a little bit of this. This is nice linen. And then what I'll do is undo some sort of slow stitch on it. That's the plan. I'll cut that end off there as well, and then I can use that as well. So yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll do something like that. Like that. And then I'll add something along there, do something different. Let's cut this. Just cut a thin piece. See if I can rip it. No. I mean, it might be able to rip it, but my hands are very weak, so. Anyway, I hope you're all well, and looking forward to the weekend. There. I like that, I think. Do I want it that way? Like, no, I definitely don't want it the same. There. Yeah, okay, that's good. What else have we got? Got different colours. So I made sure that I had lots of different colours here. That's a bit too samey. I'll use some of this. So these are mostly hand-dyed cloth. So this was, I did this, I dyed these using different plants. Last summer, I did lots of little ones, and then I just fray that edge a little bit so it's more interesting. Can stick outside. I'm trying to think what I used marigolds, and I also used a plant that I found near my house. I'm going to pull that over like that just for it to, you know, have something different going on. Like that. Okay, what else? Got sort of a bluey colour again. This was red cabbage, dyed with red cabbage. So lots of hand dyeing, and I loved, you know, I love doing it. I just love it. It's so nice to get the results, and then, you know, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't last. They fade, which is fine. I don't mind them fading. Just going to use a small piece of this there. Overlapping. So we've got this colour here. This was already dyed. Not sure actually. No, I don't know. I don't want to. Not sure what I used for this. Well, no, I do know it was avocado pips. Right, I'm going to put that there, and I'll find that's. What about that there? I've got 2 dogs behind me, so if you hear some strange noises, they're mouthing each other playfully. It's what they do when they play together. So I've got my sister's dog here as well. That's why. Look. Oh, excuse me. Just got a hiccup. Yeah, let's have a little piece of this. Yeah, when they play, they mouth each other. It's lovely to watch. So, I mean, they make horrendous noises. It sounds like they're going to murder each other, but it's very playful. That will go like that. Pop that there. All right, I've got quite a dark piece of rust dyed. This is dyed with rust. That's hand dyed as well, some thread, keep that out. So I'm just going to put a bit of this on because I think it will look nice with something darker there. like that. Looks like it's burned. Okay, so that's that there. Now I might go back to, oh, I've got some yellow, but that's quite bright. This, I hand dyed this, but I can't remember what it was. I did it the year before. You can see I've started some weird slow stitching there. Don't know what I'm trying to do. Let's see what else. I mean, there's a fair bit here, but I'm just, you know, I don't need to use all of it. I'm just trying to find pieces. We got that piece there, I think. It's quite long. I'll cut a little piece off. And I'll pop that there. So as you can see, I'm not gluing it, but I might put a little bit of glue on. I might. So, any nice plans for the weekend? If you're in the UK and it's Mother's Day, people will be going out and enjoying Mother's Day or whatever. Usually, you know, Sunday roast or something, you know, to local pub or restaurant. Yeah, people like to do all sorts of things. No, that's the same colour, isn't it? Leave that there for a minute. Yep. Alright, oh, isn't that pretty? Lovely little pretty blue. This was the same, it was cabbage. I'll use it sparingly. I might put that on top there, you know, because I feel like, actually what I might do is just put that there. I don't think it needs anything else. Pop that the blue there, because I think it will stand out more. That there. Yeah, I think that works. And could use that there. But it won't lie down. I don't think. I can get it to lie flat. It would if I used a dab of glue. I'll leave it there for a minute. Actually, no, I won't. I don't like it there. I might use a bit of this again. Just a thin bit. It's fairly easy to do all of this. I mean, you know, it's straightforward. Doesn't have to be hard. And that can go there. I like that there. That's nice. Good. So let's just see, because I want that little bit. Oh, you might not be able to see. Yeah, I want that little bit there. Sorry if you couldn't see. I have to check that. Right. And there we go. Okay, so that's the first one done. I don't think there's any more to put on that, and I think that's going to look lovely. Okay, let me just see what you can see. No, you couldn't see the end, could you? Sorry about that. Right. Now. Right, now I'll let that just sit for a moment, and then I'm going to do the lace one. Now, do I do the same thing and do a long thin one? Okay, let's do this then. Take another bit off. I made it a bit thin actually, so, but that's okay. Or shall I make it thicker? Sorry, just getting these little bits off. So once we've done them, then I can sew them. Right, I'm just going to have a sip of tea. I've been thirsty this morning. Okay, I'm going to leave it like this, and then I'll see. Turn it that way. Right, let's have a look then. So I didn't get out very much. I just got out a little bit. So, and I could mix them with those. For example, I could put a little bit of pink down, and I could put something like that over the top, or a bit of lace or something, a bit of that, which is like a, I don't know what it is. Oh, there's some pretty lace. I could put that over the top. That looks really lovely. I will do that, but I won't do it there. So I'm thinking, I think I might put that there. I don't want to use the whole thing now. I'll just use some of it. I don't want the same, you know, big chunks of things. And then I'll mix it with something a bit different. How about that? Like that. Yeah, that's pretty. We can use that on here as well. That's nice. I'll cut that to fit. Like that. Where's the pink? Here, I might put that there. I can't decide. I can't decide whether to make it smaller. And I'd rather put it on all the way. I'll just put it on some other way there, like that. So it sort of sticks out a little bit. Yeah, no, I'll leave that there. The long, you know, this piece. Hopefully you can see. It's not easy, I don't think. Yeah, we want contrasting colours to make sure that, well, that's going to look nice there, but I won't put that there. I'll see what else we've got. That. There. That's perfect. I think we're going to be able to do this quickly, guys. That, no, I think I'll put something like that underneath, like that. Let's try something out. I don't know if it's yeah, it stands. It doesn't stand. No, it does actually. Yeah, okay, I'll have that there then. I'm going to pop that on there. And this there. Going to cut that little thing off there. Like a leaf shape. And pop that on the end there. And I think that's pretty. Hopefully you like it. I'm going to put that there. There. I think I like it. I mean, the pink is a bit random. Maybe you take the pink out. That's, oh yeah, I'm going to cut that in half and use that actually. I'll cut it there. No. There. Because this really stands out. Yep, I'm going to use that instead. That's going to look pretty wrapped around something. Okay. And then I'll start sewing this. I'll just move these away a minute. Right, now I need to find my needle. There it is. That was easily found. Now I have to decide, am I just going to use normal thread to begin with? What different? I've got some of that white. That's pretty. It's a nice white. I've got this ordinary thread, which is what is on that needle, but it doesn't stand out. Now I don't know if I can actually get this through my needle, so I'll try and see, and we'll see. Oh, there we go, done it. Okay, good. Move things away for a minute so I can see what I'm doing. So yeah, let's have a sip of tea. It's gone cold, but I don't mind that. So I'm thinking how to do this. I think I'll just use sort of a random going wibbly wobbly stitch. So just a you know, wibble wobble. So that I catch all of the different. And then I come back sort of up, so go down wibbly wobbly and then come back up wibbly wobbly in a different way. I think that's what I'm going to do. Just put a knot in it. Yes, I've got Missy, my sister's dog, here, and they were very good last night. Slept all night, didn't wake me up until 6, which is 5:45, which isn't too bad. That's the average time I wake up, unless Bobby wakes me up early. He tends to be the one to wake me up earlier out of the pets. Try and get these a little bit closer together. Missy's growling at something. Yeah, so I just love making these. They're so pretty and they effective in you know, in all the different projects. Always effective. I find anyway. And very simple, and they, you know, you're using up little bits of what you have. I've just, you know, come to the conclusion that I need to use my things up otherwise, and this isn't me being dramatic, I will never use them up in the time that you know, in my lifetime. I will never use the amount of things that I have. I will never use them up, so I need to that's a bit weird, but it's actually on the cloth there. There. Is it fluff? So I thought to myself, well, you know, Julie, you need to get pleasure out of them and start using them. So that's what I'm doing. Excuse me. And this way also, you know, you guys get to get the benefit as well. Just if you enjoy watching this sort of thing, then you're getting the benefit as well. So it's win-win. Just going to go. I tend to do a back stitch when I come to another you know, an edge of a fabric, just because, yeah, it holds it in down rather than, well, to a certain degree. Obviously I'm not going to be doing the whole thing, you know, covering the whole cloth, but, and it's nice to use my hand dyed cloths as well, because they, you know, I've put the effort into dyeing them. I think I've got 3 unfinished projects that I need to get finished in terms of slow stitch. Let me think. One of them is definitely, no, 2 are Roxy's Journal of Stitchery projects. I think what I'll do next, so, is make another vessel. I loved making this. I think it's one of my most favourite things that I've made. I just love it. And it's so handy. I mean, look, it's chocker full of things. I've even stuck pins in there, look, so I know. And I've got that on the side, so I know where it is. So yeah, always nice things. It's nice to have nice things. And then making that pouch was just joyful. Really enjoyed that. And the results, and you know, I've got something really pretty. I have something similar from many years ago when I was a lot younger. My husband, I think, bought me a pouch like that for a night dress, a nightie. I think that's, it was either for that or it was for putting your smalls in when you know, when you pack your suitcase. It was to sort of keep them together, but so I think it was one or the other. And it's very pretty. It's broader angle, it's very pretty. I'll see if I've got it to hand somewhere. So some lace on the edge. It's definitely vintage. It would have been sort of the late 80s when he bought it for me. Okay, thank you for your lovely comments. Really appreciate you all. You've felt appreciated, and just that you enjoy the videos, and also that, you know, gives you ideas. I have to say, I forgot to say at the time, but the sound quality of I think it was the last video I did, was horrendous, and I'm not sure what happened. So I'll just make sure that doesn't happen again when I upload the next time, because I didn't check it, I don't think, and normally I would. I might have been distracted about something and forgot, or whatever, you know, something happened. But yeah, it's quite poor. I know I speak softly, and you know, I know that can be an issue sometimes, but what I try to do now is just edit so that I can control more of the sound. Sometimes it's difficult, but yeah, I do try to do things, you know, to improve the quality of my videos. I'm looking forward to doing my flower and vegetable seedlings, you know, putting my seeds in. I've got potatoes chitting at the moment, and actually I think they're ready, so I'll be putting them in. They'll be earlies, and yeah, I've got a lot of flower seeds. Grab some trays and start putting them in. Sometimes I get really good results, and other times I don't. I've found flower seeds much harder to grow than vegetable seeds. I mean, veg seeds I rarely struggle with them, but flower seeds are always hit and miss, and I think why is that the case? Why aren't they? I mean, I'm aware that they all need different, so I've done it already, but I'm going to go back now and do, you know, try and overlap, and I can maybe do it a few times, but let's go back. And make sure I catch all of the fabric. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing those. It's always nice to see, you know, your seedlings come up. I had, when in my last house, had quite a large garden and grew a fair few trees, fruit trees. Ow! I don't have the same size garden, but I do have room for more trees in the front in particular. And I'm thinking, I'm talking about small trees, not, you know, large, just small fruit trees. So I'm thinking of increasing, you know, putting trees in. It will also give me a little bit more privacy, because I live on a high street going through a small village, but despite the village being small, the road is very, very busy, and I just feel sometimes I don't get any privacy. So I'm thinking trees, and I love to see trees, and I can, you know, have bird food hanging from the trees, or birds' nests and things, and, you know, just have it pretty. I mean, it gets a lot of sun, the front, and the back does, but at different times of day. It depends on the time of day, obviously, with any garden, but mostly anyway. My last garden got it all day, all day. Because it was a corner garden, and it just had the sun at every day, you know, every position that the sun went in, it was hitting the garden, somewhere in the garden. So, and I had great success with flowers in that garden, but I tended to use, rather than cut flowers, I grew wild herbs and flowers, and wildflowers and herbs. And in between them I grew fruit and vegetables and herbs, and so it was a real mix in one plot, and I loved that about it, you know. I liked having fruit trees and fruit bushes in between the flowers, and I had huge honeysuckle, huge. The smell in summer, it was right next to where my table sat, you know, where I would sit and have something to drink or eat in the sunshine or in the shade if I had my umbrella up. And oh, what a beautiful garden it was. And now it's trashed because the person living there now they're using my what was my studio or my cabin, they're using it as a dog to board dogs. Oh, awful. Just, I can't bear the thought of it being used like that, because it'll just be trashed, and the garden's trashed apparently. And I left when I first started years and years ago. I did ceramics at a college, and then I went on and did ceramics at a university. The very first thing I made was a bird bath. It was gorgeous, and it was sat on the stump of a tree, and I forgot to take it with me when I moved. Anyway, I saw the person living there, and I asked them if it was there, and he said, "Oh, I found that." He said, "I found it in 2 pieces." Oh, so I just threw it away. Oh, I was absolutely devastated. It's my fault, I left it behind, but I was devastated. I mean, I initially, because my shed here is full of things that I took out of the garage, and had a big, huge space that everything went, you know, like the gardening stuff and art stuff and all sorts of things in there. And I thought it was in with all of those, because I haven't done anything with them since I moved. They're just sitting in there. I thought, oh, it's packed away, and then I realised it wasn't there. And I thought, well, there's only one place it can be. And sure enough, and he threw it away. So I don't think I'll be doing something for my birthday this weekend with my family. June, my friend June and I are going to, because my birthday's on the 15th, hers is 16th, we're going to do something we usually do. So we've got something planned for it during the week. So that will be nice. And then I'll be doing something with family, I think, this weekend. To be honest with you, I didn't want to fuss at all. I've made it clear to everyone I don't want to fuss, and I didn't want people spending lots of money. Just, you know, especially because it's Mother's Day as well, you know, and then they feel obliged to have 2 lots of gifts, and I've said no. I don't want that. I don't want them spending money like that. What I have said is that I'm going to when I want something, so I've been wanting a guillotine for quite a while. Now they're not cheap. You know, I want things for my craft room, for example. Now what I'm trying to do is not buy any more fabrics and things like that, even secondhand. I'm trying to not put a stop to it, but you know what I've done. I've pulled it too tight, so I'm going to have to cut it out and then what am I saying? Oh yeah, so I'm trying the things that I want that are expensive, I've always held off. And when I say expensive, to some people they might not be expensive, but to me they are. So I tend to hold off on them. But what I've said is I'm going to, with any money that I get for my birthday, that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to use it to buy some things that I need. Practical things that I need. So that's what I'm going to do. So no books this time, no, because I always get books, always. I always ask for books, and you know, you get the things, don't you? You know, they want to buy you things, but I'm 63 or coming up, and there's nothing I don't need. There's nothing I need. I wouldn't mind. There's certain things I wouldn't mind for my kitchen, but they're luxuries. They're things like pretty dishes and things, and I don't really have much space left in my kitchen, so I don't know where they would go, but there are things that I'd like, some vintage bowls to do baking, and I've got Pyrex bowls and I've got a couple of ceramic ones, but I want, you know, the old-fashioned French ones. I love them. Stoneware bowls, and so I wouldn't mind the dark glazes. And also, because I do a lot of, tend to do a bit of flower, not arranging, but you know, I have all sorts of different arrangements throughout the year, you know, posies to big sticks with from different trees with flowers on, all sorts of things. I do it every year, all throughout the year. And I tend to use jars. I've got some vases, but I would like some, you know, again, I'm talking about the old French sort of heavyweight vintage vases. I want some of those to do some flower arranging. So if I do manage to get my flower garden up and running this year fully, a few more flowers, then that would be lovely to have something like that. But I'm keeping an eye out on eBay, but yeah, that's what I'm looking for. But practically, I need a new paper cutter, and I did want a guillotine, but I'm going to look. I was thinking, I saw on a couple of other crafters paid YouTube channels that they have a trimmer, and then it's also forget what it's called now, where you can put a line in a straight line. I forget. It'll come to me. So yeah, it does both things. It trims and also scores. So rather than buying a scoreboard and a trimmer, you know, a guillotine, I think I'll just get one that does both. The other thing I've quite fancied, but I don't know how much use I will get from it is a stamping platform. Now I do see those advertised on Marketplace every now and again. I don't see many advertised in this area, and it's the same with the embosser and cutter. I forget the name of those as well. Oh, the Big Shot. So I definitely would love a Big Shot. That's been my main thing that I've been looking for as secondhand. I don't want to buy it brand new because they're just so expensive, and you see them secondhand all the time, but they're not in my area. They're too far away to go and pick one up, you know. And also I want one in good condition. I'm being fussy, of course, but I'll pay the price for a good quality one, but I didn't want to pay for a brand new one, because why do people sell these things all the time? Do they get bored of them? Or did they find they weren't necessary? That's what I worry about. You know, you buy something new that's £160 or whatever, and then you don't use it. I mean, that's disappointing. So I don't want to be in that position. That's why I'm careful. But we'll see. I mean, you know, those are a couple of things I want, and then anything else is a bonus. I want maybe some Tim Holtz sprays. I don't know if I like it. It's a bit messy. I think I want to put a colour on it now. I feel like it's a bit messy. Oops. Keep going. I think I was trying to cover everything, but I think I've sort of, because I'm not concentrating, I'm thinking, haven't really made it very neat. I mean, well, no, I'm not concentrating on my stitching. I'm not giving it the attention. Okay, this needs to be sewn down here. I don't mind bits sticking up, but I don't want a whole, like, you know, there. So I'm going to go along the edge and just pin it down a bit. I might not have time to do the other one. Oop, stuck in my finger. I think it would, I don't mind the fact that it's neutral, because that's what I wanted, but when I look at it, it makes me want to put things on, you know, colours. But anyway, I love neutral, so I don't know why I'm feeling like that. So are you working on anything nice? You know, what are you crafting at the moment? Are you doing any slow stitch, or do you do any other types of sewing? Do you do practical sewing in the house, you know, making things or clothes? Or I would love to make a dress or something, but I am going to make my curtains that I mentioned. And what I'm thinking of doing, I did find some of the fabric that I want for £19 per metre, which you know, if I have 2 meters, then that should be £40. And I said, didn't I say that £40 was acceptable? So it's a lot cheaper. So I'm either going to buy that, or because I have a lot of linens, I'm thinking about looking in my linens and seeing if there's anything I want to use instead. So that is the plan. If I can't find anything to use, then I'm going to buy it and have the flouncy, gauzy linen that I want in this room. I am thinking about swapping my bedroom for this craft room. Again, it would mean that I downsize a lot of my things. So, right, so then I would have to sell packs of things. You know, put packs together. I have thought about doing that. On Etsy, you know, I thought about selling them on Etsy. Alright, I'm just going to cut that off. Because really this is done. I'll put my needle there just because I'll forget. So that's pretty much done. You can see on where you probably can't, but it's not, the white doesn't show through as much as I thought it would in a nice way. I thought it was going to be much nicer looking. This is quite messy, but that's okay. So, you know, I can add something. I could add a bit of lace here and there. So I could add a piece, you know, here and there. That's what I just said, here and there, like in between. I think that would look quite nice. So I'll have a think about that, but that's done. Let me just see how long I've been on. Oh yeah, I've been on ages. Okay, well, what I'll do is I'll sew this and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Okay then, I'll be back soon. Hi, I'm back. So what I've done is I've finished sewing this. And it's really pretty. I'll show you some details. So you've got some really pretty, that one's in particular is really lovely, and that one. So we've got some really lovely bits of lace on there. And of course, you know, you could put buttons. In fact, I might even add a few buttons. So I've got some really pretty, let me just see if I've got them to hand. No, I don't. Well, got a few here, but yeah, I mean, you could add some lovely little buttons to them. Even coloured ones. Let's see if I've got anything. I mean, I've got these, I love these little pearly ones. So you could add that to the end there. And then that would make a really pretty tab. You can probably hear the dogs in the back, they're playing, because the postman just came and delivered something and set them off. Sorry. Quiet, guys. Although I don't want to stop them playing because they... Anyway, so that's that. So, yeah, so you could add buttons and things. And then this one here, it's very plain, but again, you could do things with that. I'm just going to shove them up. Oh dear, they'll probably stop now, and I don't really want them to stop. So I've been looking for some reels to put them on, and I decided I was going to use this one for here. And again, I can unravel them and add things to them, which I probably will. So that goes on there, and then just pop a little pin on it into there. There we go. Oh, that's sticking right out. I don't want it sticking out like that, so I'll have to do it sideways on a bit of an angle. Like that. Yeah, that's it. So that's that one, and then the little one can go in here, and I think I'll do it from this. So pretty, and I love these bobbins. I like buying them. And there we go. Oh, that's so pretty. And then again, I'll pop a little pin in. I need some thinner pins, smaller pins, not thinner. But there we go. So I just think they're gorgeous and very easy to make. And you can, as I said, you know, you can make colourful ones, or you could, I particularly like the lace one. And they're just sweet to have around, you know, sitting on a shelf. Okay, so there we go. I hope you enjoyed that little craft with me, and I'll be back very soon for more. So take care, everyone. Bye for now.